Hello friends! In this video we will learn about an important Kabbalistic term, about the language that Kabbalists use to describe the spiritual world for people living in the material world. This is the language of the branches. The language of the branches is a unique method for understanding and studying the esoteric teachings of the Kabbalah. Through the language of the branches, concepts and images from the physical world, which are the branches, can be used to describe and explain spiritual concepts and processes, the roots. The idea of the language of the branches as a metaphorical language has existed in Kabbalah for generations, but received its name from Baal HaSulam, who developed and expanded its use. Why is the language of the branches necessary for Kabbalists? Because for people living in the material world and whose spiritual vision is limited, it is difficult to grasp the essence of the spiritual worlds and the processes that take place in them. The language of the spiritual worlds is an abstract language that is beyond words, above the ordinary human perception. In order to learn what is happening there, we need terms that we can grasp in simple and understandable language. For example, the word light is used to describe a positive spiritual influence, a feeling of abundance that comes from the upper worlds. The vessel describes the factor that absorbs and contains the light, and the ability to receive the spiritual influence. This is like distinguishing between the source of electricity that comes from a power plant and the light bulb in the house. According to the Kabbalah, there is a direct connection between the spiritual world and the physical world. Everything in the physical world has a root in the spiritual worlds. Everything that is created in the physical dimension is first formulated in the upper worlds and is realized in the material world. So, the upper worlds are considered as the roots, and the realization in the material world is called branches. Here are more examples. Father and mother are used to describe the higher sephirot in the tree of life and the relationships between them. Father symbolizes the sphere of wisdom, chokhmah. Mother symbolizes the sphere of binah, understanding, which is also considered the Supreme Mother, and its further manifestation is in the sphere of malchut, kingdom, which is also called the Lower Mother. Another example, king and kingdom. King symbolizes the influencing force, usually referring to Sefirat Tiferet, glory, or to God himself. Kingdom, Malchut, symbolizes the entity that receives God's authority, and usually refers to Sefirat Malchut, or Knesset Israel, the total of all the souls of the children of Israel. How about male and female? Male symbolizes any influencing force in the upper world which carries masculine attributes. Female symbolizes a receiving vessel of feminine qualities. That means any factor that gives is considered as male, and every factor that receives is considered as female. This has nothing to do with the physical gender of a giver and receiver in our physical world. There are many women who are givers and many males who are receivers. A male that receives something is not considered as female, but the very action of receiving is considered as a feminine action that he conducts. Another example: groom and bride describe the relationship between God, the groom, and Knesset Israel, the collective of Hebrew souls, which is the bride. There is a special union between the two, like a wedding between God and his chosen people. How about sun and moon? Unlike the celestial bodies we know here, the sun symbolizes the direct influence of the Creator, direct light. The moon symbolizes the receiver who reflects the light it receives, the returning light. Very similar to a mirror that reflects a light that is directed at it. How about right and left? Right symbolizes infinite source of grace and influence, the right side of the tree of life. Left symbolizes valor, the power of geburot, proportionality, judgment, and reduction, the left side of the tree of life. How about heart? It symbolizes the spiritual center of balance and moderation, often referring to the sphere of glory, Tiferet, located at the center of the tree of life. The term eyes symbolizes spiritual supervision and influence. Clothing symbolizes the manifestations of the divine light when it is revealed in the material world. The infinite light cannot be revealed in its full power in the material world, and must be concealed and wrapped by veils, clothing. The clothing allows the infinite light to manifest itself in the physical worlds without burning them. The role of the clothing in our world is to adapt the intense spiritual light descending from infinity to a level where the creatures can contain it, like a garment tailored to the wearer's measurements. A clothing in the material world protects the human body from heat and the radiation of the sun. These are only a few examples, and at the same time, it is important to understand that the language of the branches is only an allegory, giving us clues about very deep spiritual reality, of which we have only a vague idea. The wisdom of Kabbalah is broad and deep, a veritable ocean of knowledge. I hope this study has enriched you. Thank you for being with me, and we will see each other in the next videos.